Let me take a sip of this booming now before I start this.
Welcome back, folks. Before we go on, I just want to check on some sports stats, keep myself sharp here on the sports, and I'll use my computer and just go in here, and I'm going to check. Okay.
Mr. Doing Too Much.
Man, I was hoping we would kick this pod off with a Cole Campbell original. Thank you, KJ, for that.
Got nothing else.
I don't have any loud in front of me. I do have a booming fall creole right here. It a beer I've called the best fall beer on the planet.
We've got chopped and screwed. We got chopped and screwed, Dylan.
It's not coming through right.
It's coming through right. It's just coming through. Chopped and screwed is about correct. Like we're just getting everything like 1.5 times.
We got
more Dylan is all we ever needed.
Dylan's coming to us live from Swishahouse.
Man, I don't even know quite a bit of DJ Screw in my life.
If you don't fix this, we're going to be DJ Screwed. No, it's
should I hop off? Back on.
We'll do once we start the read. How about that? Because that'll give us time. We'll bring Kyle in, and we'll have both.
Speaking of the read,
you got a read.
I got a read. Do you mind if I mention our good friends at DraftKings? NBA fans, the wait is over. Basketball is back, so tip off the season with DraftKings Sportsbook, today's video sponsor and an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers can make any $5 NBA bet and get $200 in free bets if your team wins. With same-game parlays, you can combine multiple bets from the same game to give yourself a shot at even bigger winnings all season long. For those in a state where sports betting is not yet available, don't forget about DraftKings Daily Fantasy, where they have been innovating even more ways to win some cash this basketball season. DraftKings has been around for a while, so you know your funds are safe and can be withdrawn whenever, wherever you want. We got Mavs Nets tonight. It's probably just tipped off. Not going to follow it because I'm devoted to the content game, but I would like to. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code WASHED. Make any $5 bet this week and get $200 in free bets if your team wins. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with promo code WASHED. See show notes for details. Excuse me.
Let's try that one more again.
Hello. Dylan here. How we doing? How we sounding? Not good, huh? Great. Oh man.
No.
Come on.
It's great.
This is fun.
We're both like 60% sure that it's still going. I don't know what we can do. You sound clear.
The last sentence you said.
I sound good. Okay.
But there's like a clip.
Right.
So we'll just keep it short. Whatever. We'll work with it. Fuck it.
Yeah, be tactical with your words. Be a tactician. Someone who is a tactician, who's going to join us here on this live stream, none other than Baseball America's own, Big Screen Sports Pod's own, a guy who made his bones writing for a blog, Post Grab Problems. It's Kyle Bandujo.
R.I.P. PGP, man. Good days. Coming at you live from a video screen from the 90s with this camera quality I've got going on. Dylan sounds like the guy from Goodfellas, the 2 times guy. I'm gonna go get the papers. That's what I thought.
Call me 2 times.
How's it going, guys? Thrilled to be here.
I am honored to be in the presence of a 5-tool podcaster, content creator.
Just the highest of praise.
All around professional. I would say it looks like you're coming to us live more from like whatever the equivalent of like where they read MRIs and X-rays.
I'll take that. Yeah, the first string camera was not working, so we're going with what's on the laptop. The laptop is old, and the results aren't ideally what you'd want, but we're here, we're ready to go.
KJ or Kyle, I'm sorry. Did you get a gold record? Were you awarded a gold record? What's going on over?
That's a sale. As you know, I'm a sales professional, and that was an award for our President's Club last year. And I was told that it would be prudent to put that in my in my Zoom background. So here we are.
Okay. Look
I
at
don't
that.
hear it. I've been around
I
a lot
thought-
of cheesy sales
Hi, Kyle.
awards,
Hey, Dylan.
and that's a nice one.
Good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you too, man.
I thought maybe
nicest guy in media. That's what I say about you.
That is high praise.
Big
that
facts.
just warms my heart. Love being back with you guys.
Good.
It's been a while since we all connected.
I feel like
I
it's
thought,
better than like
yes.
random phallic objects or whatever like this. When
Oh yeah.
they just send you like shiny black objects. I'm like, I don't know why we chose that one. I like the record.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, they asked. It was like 2 months before the presentation or whatever. They asked like what my favorite song, like when you're selling or making calls, is, and like I was like, this is dumb. This is something they're gonna do for like a sales rally, and I just put whatever I was listening to, and then that song is what's on the record, which is Sergio by Action Bronson. It was literally just what was on shuffle. So
I would have got Youth of the Nation by POD, but hey, I
Classic.
still love it. Still love it.
Wow. Kyle, what'd you have for dinner?
Made a like a corn pasta. It's like you cook down corn with some Parmesan, you make it into like a puree, and that's like the pasta sauce. Is very good.
Come on.
What's the round table here? What did you guys eat?
TBD for your boy. Grind
You
zone.
picked up Chinese food.
Oh, always a win.
I don't hate it.
TBD for Dave. My tradition has been leave here, swing by Chick-fil-A on my way back to my house. And what I do is I get a spicy chicken sandwich and I get 12 nugs and I go no fries, because I've found that the fries, that's what puts me over the top on feeling bloated and bad. So I'm going straight up protein with a little bit of bun in there, baby.
You know, it's not what I'd do.
Yeah, I don't know that that's my my order either. However, you know, it does lead me to think this time in between the normal workday and the Thursday show, if that is protected Dave time, if you will, as the Sizzle Squad may or may not reunite here in the coming days, there may be some opportunity in that window.
Are you coming down here?
I'm more saying Call of Duty dropping in like 6 hours. In the event I'd like to get murked online. That might be the only time I can fit it in. I'd be like, oh, I've just got a meeting.
What's the
That sounds
Cardinals
fun.
line this weekend? Because I didn't realize there's a new Call of Duty coming out. I didn't factor that into my Cardinals game pick.
Oh, smart man.
We'll take a peek a little bit later. We'll see. While we have you on, because we definitely plan to like do a deep dive into the World Series. Like so many people come to us for all of their baseball knowledge.
Of course.
I mean, as we are a source of all that is America's other game. What are your thoughts on the World Series? Generic. And give us a reason to watch if we're not Astro fans, if you have one.
I think it's a really good matchup. There's a lot, it's a very star-studded World Series. We're kind of, especially with the NLCS, it's like there were all those tweets about like Bryce Harper was on the cover of Sports Illustrated and when he was 16, now he's living up to everything, which like he lived up to everything like 5 years ago. Like he made good on that potential, but it really is like a christening of sorts of like, hey, this guy's here and he really is, may not be the chosen one that they said on Sports Illustrated, but he's very good. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. Like that's exciting. This Phillies team can just mash. Like they're just a lot of fun. Like they've got 5 dudes who can hit a ball out of a stadium. That's a lot of fun. The Astros are just good, man. Like my heart wants the Phillies to win. I'd love to see that. It's I root for a lot of dudes on that team. And just for the sake of like baseball legacies and stuff, I would like Harper to retire with at least one World Series win. I think that would be, just a nice kind of way to cap off, I guess, his first decade in baseball. He's only 30, but the Astros are just really, really good. It's tough to pick against them. I mean, they manhandled the Yankees. It was not close. So it should be a really good World Series though. It's two teams who the Phillies are really hot and the Astros are really good. So that should be a fun matchup.
Will we see high scoring games or we're going to see a bunch of 17-inning, one-run games.
There will be at least one game where both teams have to empty out the bullpen, and it's like a Johnny Allstaff game, and a couple home runs get hit, especially like the wind starts blowing in Houston. Apparently the roof, I believe, is going to be open. Balls flying Philly too. So yeah, there will be at least one game with a lot of dingers. There will probably also be a couple games that are just, nails 2-1, something like that. Verlander going game one. Got to think he's going to show out. One of the first, I can't remember the stat off the top of my head, but I saw a tweet that he is joining like one or two guys who have started a World Series game in 3 different decades. So it's quite a feat.
Damn.
Yeah. Impressive stuff from JV.
I guess I always misremembered that Bryce Harper was gone the Nationals year.
After, I think they won the year after he left.
Yeah, the very next year. So yeah, hurts to miss that one. Talk about a team that probably would be really, really ruining like all of the talent that they had if they wouldn't have got one with him or Soto. That would have been just a rain feeling.
I kind of go back on this and like Dave, and I think Dylan, I don't know if you know, like I'm a Twins fan, and the Twins, I think it's either sitting at 19 or 23 consecutive postseason losses, which like that's tough. That stinks. But I kind of wonder, like, would I rather be? Oh, roof is closed. I had bad information. How about that? Aaron Boone.
Connor Diaz. Who knows who Connor is? He might be totally off base.
I think that makes sense. I think the weather's supposed to start getting bad. But yeah, no, like I always wonder if like, would I rather my team just be kind of steadily competitive or win a World Series and then dump off every single good player you have after? It's kind of the conundrum, because like the Nats, yeah, you got that World Series recently, but you have no more Scherzer, Juan Soto, Trey Turner. The cupboard is completely bare.
The old Florida Marlins method.
The pump and dump. It's tough.
I mean, they still have Steven Strasburg, right? Where does he go?
They still have him. They're still paying him. His body will not cooperate and allow him to be on the field.
Yeah, way to go, KJ.
Thinking of the Bryce Harper like predictions of him being the one, like Strasburg carried just as much weight, I feel like, with his early career attention.
Mm-hmm. He's been really good. It's just like it's been the health. The health has when he's healthy, he's good. He's turned in a couple really good years. He's probably going to finish his career. I think he's sitting at like just like over 30 WAR, which is like that's a very solid above average major league career. It's not, he's not a world beater, but it's just a bummer that now he's sitting with one of the worst contracts in baseball because he's getting paid a lot and he just cannot get on the field.
Wow.
That's good baseball talk that you're not going to get anywhere else.
Nowhere else.
When,
of course
when
not.
Kyle's not on here with us. Astros in 6. Would love it for the Philly. I would love Philly. I'm riding with Philly, but it's just not going to happen. I know. Look, I just got to be real. I got to be real. And if anybody knows anything, I've been right about every pick this year.
I also think it's 6, but I'm a big Phillies fan moving forward.
Astros in 4. I don't want it.
Okay.
I just
stop it.
Let's get it out. Let's move it along. Winter meetings. I'm hearing big things about Bruce Bochy.
Let's go. The Boch.
Whatever.
Okay. What's on the docket this weekend? What do we got this weekend? What are we looking forward to here? TCU West Virginia?
Okay.
I'm asking everybody. I'm putting it open. I'm moving on. What do you think about TCU West Virginia? No, you don't have to break it down. I just know that's a game that KJ is going to be glued to because I guarantee he's got the Frogs on upset alert.
No. Morgantown, albeit a difficult place to play, TCU is going to keep cruising. They will be fine. I have no faith in JT Daniels to be the one that upsets that apple cart.
West Virginia stinks, baby.
Yeah.
They had that good game 1. And I don't even know if I could say they were good. It was just an exciting game to watch against Pitt opening weekend.
It's Morgantown, though. It's Morgantown,
Do I
baby.
sound better, by the way? Can I chime in?
No.
Is that okay?
You can.
You can.
People will understand. Whatever. Everybody else sounds good. You're great
It's
to
a
look
live
at.
stream. This is the beauty of live TV. Kyle, you understand.
Oh, of course. all my experience in live TV and live events, definitely that. I with TCU West Virginia, I married a TCU alum. It's very nice to marry someone whose football team is doing well, so you have something to bandwagon onto when your favorite team is not so hot. So yeah, frogs are gonna roll.
David,
Tell
thoughts
me
on that?
you telling me Permian doesn't have a good squad?
So I have not kept up with UTPB's football team this year, actually. Not sure how they're doing. They during the COVID year when some schools played in the spring, I believe they went undefeated, which like sick, go Falcons. I pull for ever since age 9, I've pulled for the Virginia Tech Hokies. Tough sledding right now. Does not look like they will be going bowling. Yeah, they stink.
Famously. Yeah, I too married into a family, or I married a wife who went to a school that had a really, really good football team at the time. And then that football team may have had to bring in Pepper Hamilton to do an independent review and then fired their coach. And then he tried to get a bunch of jobs after that, and he kept getting torpedoed. And now he's just playing golf somewhere in East Texas, maybe coaching high school ball. I don't know. But you wouldn't know him. It's Baylor. I'm not sure if you're familiar, but I am a T-shirt Baylor fan.
Yeah, well, and there's always traffic when you're driving through Waco, so that just sours Baylor in general.
I guarantee that definitely affects people's mood toward the program when they drive
100%.
through there, and like your Waze is trying to tell you to go around, but you've done it before and you know it's just going to be a beating with like 45 turns. It's just not worth it. Just power through the traffic. That's all I can tell you. I don't know. What else we got, KJ?
Sorry, I was just imagining a world in which Dylan like subtly starts to become an Aggie fan. And like, how many years do we have to wait until that happens? Like, will it start with other sports, like non-football sports, and then he comes around?
They stink, baby.
It hits different 2 times.
Locker room imploring.
Let's get to that. Actually, I'm glad he brought it up. I know it's in our
smoking weed,
party, but apparently, has it been like confirmed that that's the story? I know I got the early message.
I saw that it was that Jimbo and 2 high priced recruits were throwing fists, but I didn't dive into that, or like anger, like not through, but like very angry at each other. So I would like to believe that's true.
So I don't know if it was. I'm assuming they were hitting like a vape.
Yeah, pen or some sort.
In my head, they just like pull out like a blunt,
Like Joe
and just
Burrow.
like just light it up with just no regard for human life. Don't care. Isn't it the same kid? Isn't one of the kids the dude who was driving a car in a parking garage at like 90 miles an hour or something insanely unsafe, which is definitely worse than smoking weed in a locker room.
That's so great.
Yeah, same guy.
That's full throttle, dude.
In the event that it was
man.
multiple players smoking weed in the locker room, it does lead me to wonder if, in fact, Jimbo is following a playbook that was set out by one man. Because you're like, okay, how could a coach ever lead a team that has multiple players busted for selling drugs and or DWIs within one season? It's like just all this off the field problems. And then like 2 to 3 years later, the school is building a statue of the same guy. I really feel like he's following the Gary Patterson playbook here. And
I knew it.
I think it could work out for Jimbo. You know, this leads to him being an OC back in Alabama 3 years from now.
Noted Texas coach, Gary Patterson.
Yeah, leave him alone.
Might be neighbors with Dylan. We don't know.
You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming, Tommy.
Man.
I'm not going to say how many screenshots were on my phone because I couldn't find the one newspaper headline that had all of the mug shots of like the 17 TCU students, including 3 or 4 players that were busted for dealing drugs. It was like 2012 or 2014 when this went down. And I was like, oh, yes. saving that to the memory bank. And, I'll pull it out from time to time.
Pre-NIL, guys had to make ends meet.
Exactly.
Yeah, dude, that is a good argument, and I that is where I stand on the issue. I co-sign all of Kyle's baseball takes and that take.
Isn't that the honey badger? Wasn't that his like explaining that away of the backpack full of weed and a gun?
Correct.
Source of income. Kentucky, Tennessee is the ABC nighttime game. So finally we get some decent 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. wherever you're at. ABC on Saturday night. I don't even know who's on that call. Is it still Herb Street on the Saturday night call? Is he turning around from Thursday Night Football and still doing like their prime game?
Yep,
I believe so. Yeah, he's overworked.
He's racking up the net miles.
Does he have this? I'm not trying to judge him as a person, but does he have a family?
Oh yes.
Weren't his kids Clemson walk-ons?
I think so. I feel like he also has a tight end. Maybe it's a nephew that's a tight end because he talked about him in a conversation like on air this year. But at some point it came up where he had a bunch of bad takes about like how he would raise his sons in Cincinnati or whatever it was in relation to some team. That's a very generic bad memory. But yes, 2 sons, if that, maybe 3.
You're saying he had a tight end?
Okay.
May need to see the booty.
Okay. It was better than my like terrible anecdote of like a story I don't even remember. But
look, I had the ball. I wanted to take the shot. I didn't. The shot clock ran out, and I shot it afterward. It's fine. Let me have this.
You got it on free throws though. K-State and Oklahoma State battling for a position to play TCU. Is that roughly about right?
As it stands, before TCU is upset in Morgantown. But yeah, as it stands, we don't know if Adrian Martinez is going to play. Game time decision. We're going to pick that game. It doesn't look good, but we got banged up Spencer Sanders, who, no offense, Dylan, did enough last week. So I don't know. It's a tough one. Who are we going to pick?
2 teams who both gave it to TCU in the first half before letting it slip.
This is absolutely true. And, maybe some injuries had something to do with that. That's what some people say. KJ would probably say that. I don't know. I think it's worthy of talking about, but I don't know if that's my take yet.
I picked Oklahoma State last week. It worked out for me. NFL NFL this week, we do have a London game. We'll pick it later on. Not worth discussing beyond that. I don't know to call it like just a shitty slate or a shitty start, but like there's so many games this year for the NFL where I'm just like, I don't have any interest. And I think a lot of it comes back to how bad the NFC has been. Where all of the great games that you're looking for is like, okay, where's Josh Allen or where's Pat Mahomes playing? So not much to talk about there.
I feel like every matchup, a team stinks. Every week, you just look at every matchup and it's like, man, one of these teams is terrible, and then they end up winning somehow. It's terrible.
What's the next one? What's the last bullet point in sports party? Sorry, I don't have the.
Marche is out 4 to 6 with a hip injury.
Oh, didn't know
fantasy
that.
Implications, major implications there. Dylan, oh man, God love
Tough
you.
scene.
Hate to say.
I love that Dylan's weeks included one podcast where he wasn't physically seen and another where he's only being seen and not heard. Which
shout out Skelly.
Were cried laughing at Dylan's performance with Skelly.
Reminds me of when we had Bucci Gross. Who did we have on? Was it Bucci?
Yeah.
We had Bucci on, and my mic went out, or
I
he
can't hear
muted
this
me.
guy. I don't know if he's doing a bit. I can't hear him.
I remember that.
I came in hot. I have a theory that he somehow turned my mic off because I came in hot with some stupid question that, he was like, this guy's going to be a problem. And he immediately pulled my plug. Like the general in Forrest Gump when Forrest is up there spilling the beans on Nom. Just pulling wires out, talking to his contacts at internet.
Is that before or after like the active AIDS spreading? But I don't know.
Okay, it's
Shouts
not
to
even
Disney.
related.
Shouts to
It's
Disney.
not.
Jenny.
Jenny could have gotten taken down by a few different things. I know what's insinuated, but
She did lead to a genre of online internet that I enjoy. Anyways, let's move on from the Black Panther Party to
Oh, hey. One more thing. Chiefs traded for Chiefs got another first round wide receiver, Kadarius Toney,
Yeah.
the Florida kid. That's very cool. If you're in the AFC, I'm sure you're really thrilled.
a lot of good tweets about that, all having to do with someone like being injured, but then instantly getting up and being fine. A lot of tweets in that theme. So I think most people are expecting him to go to the Chiefs and be just fine.
So this is that is a reference, of course, to Scott Hansen of Red Zone, and the reason he couldn't hear me was because he was hang gliding in Micronesia.
He was swimming in the Ganges River.
I saw Hansen and my thoughts went to Chris Hansen, and I was like, why did you guys have Chris Hansen on?
I wish. I wish.
Why don't you sit down and talk about this spread?
Questions he's asked before, unfortunately.
Okay.
The person wasn't real. It's okay.
Well,
This was an adult.
move on. Climbing Kilimanjaro. Okay, Jim. He wasn't doing that. He was. Leave him alone.
There was a couple other trades. The Cowboys picked up a defensive tackle, and then Robert Quinn, 1-year Cowboy, got traded to the
Eagles.
For a 4th-round pick. Quinn hasn't been performing at the level he was last year or during his Cowboys year, but there was a lot of chatter of like, why, spend a 5th to go get 100th ranked D lineman versus a 4th to go get Quinn back. I would just guess the answer is you don't need him. Quinn's not a defensive tackle. Run defense is your problem.
I think we're good on the edge.
Yeah.
We're good on the edge and could use a little help in the middle there. And all I know about this dude we traded for is that he is what they call a John Duda, meaning a wide load. Big fella, biggest guy on the team. Yeah, speaking of, thank you, Luke.
I love it.
Let's pick some games.
Maybe they could trade LVE and get something of value. That would solve the run defense problem. All right.
I don't know who's picking him up for anything of value.
With that said, let's get this going here. Sorry, I've got to share and switch us over and all of that jazz.
Look at us.
Everyone's favorite moment of the week. Almost accurate.
Oh, seriously?
Did picks. Anything to say? Is this the beginning of the turnaround, David? 18-36. Actually, that's not even right. Your record is a little different. I think your record is I haven't updated that top part, so whatever. F off.
Look, all I can tell you is it's still early. I'm going to stop doing jokes. I'm going to start I'm not going to pick the Aggies anymore. I got some bad intel. Turns out they're really bad, and they've got dudes doing drugs in the locker room.
There you go.
Shouldn't have picked
21-22 on the year. Dylan at 28-35. I'm at 38-25. Ignore the coloring, conditional formatting, all effed up. And the guests slightly behind 500 at 31 and 32. These numbers don't seem to add up. Maybe I didn't finish this out, so maybe they do.
Love a good spreadsheet, though.
Yeah,
Very
overthinking little things. So let's start with tonight's game before it gets kicked off. The Ravens at Bucks. Maybe the first decent game that Thursday Night Football will see since week 1 when they had the Chiefs and Bills, or week 2. Bucks are favored at home by 2. Let's start with the guests. Kyle.
Tom Brady's fighting for his life here. Because if they lose this game, it's like we're officially watching him in a slow decline for his last year to go out with a whimper at like 7-9. So I'm gonna say the Bucks just because I can't I don't know. I feel like this is the last time I'm just gonna ride with this guy and be like, he's gonna get it done in some form or fashion. So I'm gonna ride with the Bucks, even though Lamar is just the best. I already regret that pick.
Gus Edwards coming back last week after being out for about a year with an ACL injury. I don't think he's thought of as like a immediate, high level contributor. If everyone remembers last year, the Ravens had like 3 running backs lost for the year, like right out of the gate. And then he scored 2 touchdowns and looked decent. I think another week of him gelling with the team is going to pay dividends. I think the Ravens continue to build and look like the third best team in the conference. Give me the Ravens. Dylan.
Baltimore. I'm going to keep.
I love it. I love it. David.
Just give me the Bucks. This man's going through it. This man, Kyle Say's fighting for his life. I read something. I don't know the source, probably New York Post, so it's probably legit. But Giselle gave him an ultimatum. So is he going to really bail on a team mid-season? I don't think he would do that. He would be banned from every Saturday outing, as it is famously for the boys. And he can't do that. So I'm riding with Tom Brady. This is his comeback game, much like this is my comeback week on the dip picks.
All right, man. I would only offer this as a quick exhibit. I do try to keep all of the history of our picks. Occasionally we'll have people ask for trends and whatnot. I would say one trend is you continue to fade my picks. Not that my picks are historically good, but in this calendar year, there's been a trend. We'll lead off the next game. Ohio State at Penn State. Ranked number 1, Ohio State. Or what are they, number 3? Not 13. I don't even know if these are accurate. These ranks are off. Blame somebody else. Oh, 13. Oh, 13 at 2. Okay. I got you. Let's say that all again. Ohio State is at Penn State. Do we know that part's right? Who knows? Whatever. Ohio State, Penn State. Penn State's getting 14.5 points. Give me Ohio State to continue covering stupid lines and James Franklin to continue keeping his job for questionable reasons. Who knows? Dylan. Penn State. This is a big noon Saturday game for Fox. So either way, we're not getting a whiteout.
Is Clay going to be there?
Clay will definitely be there.
Clay and Herb bonding over the Buckeyes and other things.
He would never miss a whiteout.
I like it. Also, like a pretty good looking. It's probably the best looking pregame show on television. Brady Quinn.
Oh,
Reggie
Quinn,
Bush.
Reggie Bush.
Leinart.
Yeah.
Pretty good looking squad.
Dude.
David.
Yes, this game confirmed at Penn State. That being said, Ohio State's real good. Give me Ohio State.
Not OSY. Who do you have, Kyle?
Give me Ohio State. It's show out for the committee season, so they will try to run it up.
Let's move on back to the Big 12. We talked about this briefly earlier. Oklahoma State at Kansas State. Kansas State's favored by 1 at home versus Oklahoma State. Dylan.
Nets.
Cats. I'm going to guess he said Kansas State. David.
Man, I've doubted Oklahoma State this entire season, and they have pretty much just dunked on me. Save that minus that TCU second half. They've been really, really good. I think they're the healthier team, which is weird to say when your quarterback might have a separated shoulder and he's still playing. I don't think Martinez is going to play. I'm riding with Okie State.
Okay. Update to the line. Kansas State's favored by 1.5 now. Dylan, would you like to change your pick at all?
Nope.
Okay. Kyle.
I think I'm going to have to go Oklahoma State in the points. Early voting started, so Gundy's going to be distracted, worried about, election integrity. But I think he's going to be able to power through. I think Oklahoma State's so.
It was just a shirt.
Just a haircut.
They make some real good points.
Just hear him out. Give me K-State at home just to continue creating havoc. A lot of that hinges on Martinez playing, which is a terrible decision because I don't think he is. But give me Kansas State. Shouts to Little Apple. Saturday night, Kentucky at Tennessee. See if that lady's still eating the grass. Tennessee's favored by 12 at home. David.
Extreme Arrested Development from the early to mid 90s voice. Tennessee.
Okay.
Some of y'all don't even know that, ref.
Yeah, I was, for some reason, and I'm ashamed to say it, thinking the show, and now I've caught up.
Well, you know me. I'm a good topical reference guy.
It's okay. I've never seen the show, so I don't know why I was thinking it. Kyle.
I think Kentucky's going to make this one real ugly. I think Tennessee wins, but I think I'll take Kentucky with the points.
I'm going to take Kentucky to cover as well. Again, I'm Heupel. I just can't go that route every single time we talk them. For the mime of Heupel.
Rocky Top.
Okay.
Dylan, just speak a sentence. It's going to chop up a little bit, but I can't even understand what you're saying.
Josh completely let himself go.
Jinxed him.
It somehow got worse.
Out of chronological order, but
This is
Saturday morning we do. I think it's StreamYard for sure. We do have a Notre Dame at Syracuse. Syracuse favored by 2.5, continuing their glow up for Dino Babers. Back to Kyle for this one.
I texted a friend of the program, Michael Jr., about this game, and he said, do not bet Notre Dame unless they're favored by double digits, and then in that case, bet the opposing team. Otherwise, stay away. We are a chaos team. If I have to pick someone, I'm going to go with Syracuse coming off that tough Clemson giveaway.
Give me Jim Boeheim's hot dog obsession. Dylan.
Syracuse.
There we go.
Uh-oh.
David.
Given that it's election season, as Kyle noted correctly, I'm going to ride with the Orangemen.
Okay. I like it. I don't know why I put this backwards, but I mentioned earlier, we do have a game in London. We all know this because there was a gentleman doing high knees and watching film for 6 out of the 8 hours that the plane was in the air. He slept for 1 and ate some food for another. Russell Wilson is planning to play against the Jags. The Jags are favored by 2.5. I'd be shocked if that line hasn't moved further. I'm up here. Give me the Jags. I'm not thrilled that they traded away James Robinson, but he was on the final year of a really good rookie deal. They weren't going to re-sign him because ETN has been performing. But I think that the Jags still walk away happy, and we're continuing to question the Broncos. Dylan.
Jags.
David.
Jags have played in London more than any team, correct?
Absolutely.
I'm going to do the thing where I say, you know what? That's got to be some kind of advantage. They're accustomed to you driving on the other side of the road, eating shit food, things like that. Smoking weed, I guess. What? Do they smoke weed over there?
No.
Oh, tea. I thought you were smoking pot. I was like, I'm sure they're doing that too. But
Do that too.
For that reason, those really, really good reasons, I'm going with the Jags.
Fair. I would say from an operations standpoint, like they don't have to worry about like hotel and all of those things. I think that counts for something. Kyle.
Jags. The lads love the Jaguars. I think Nathaniel Hackett is going to be a one and done, just like former Jaguars coach Urban Meyer.
Fair. A lot of shade being thrown at Russell's way, and I think it's no secret that Nathaniel Hackett might have a lot to do with that too. He's had a lot of questionable decisions this year. Bears.
Was Urban 1 and done or 2 and done? I can't remember.
I think he was
JJ.
2 and 2. Gone after 7 weeks though.
Oh, okay.
R.I.P. Urban's Chop House. Bears at Cowboys noon on Sunday. Cowboys favored by 9.5. The Bears made an ugly game good. Walked away with a win on Monday night. Quick turnaround to go to the Cowboys from Boston to Texas, Dallas, whatever. I don't even know who's up. Dylan.
Double.
Wait, did he go boys or bears? I only heard
Boys.
duh.
Boys.
Boys. Thank you.
It just sounds so intentionally like edited. It doesn't sound choppy. It doesn't sound bad or overmodulated. It just sounds like he's hitting a button. David.
The Cowboys should not have covered and arguably would not have won that game, but for some very, very timely turnovers. Like that last 5 minutes did a lot. I think they would have won the game, but that they should not have covered that. The Bears, I don't know what to think. It's last time Cowboys played a running quarterback, he didn't end well for them. Let's just say that. I think the Bears cover. Boys win, Bears cover.
Who are you referring to running quarterback they've played? I'm trying to remember that. Kyle.
Jalen Hurts.
Oh, yes. Yes. Okay.
I got the boys to cover. I think Dak, second week back, a little more in rhythm, hopefully. The Bears' offensive line is horrible, and I think Justin Fields is going to be running for his life.
I agree. The Bears line is terrible. It won't be pretty in that regard. I just don't see the Cowboys coming up with enough offense, especially without Zeke out there. Tony Pollard is a serviceable running back, an exceptional running back in many ways. Pass protection is not one of those. I don't think that's going to be a good look for week 2 of Dak. And maybe Gallup will get the ball this week. Who knows? Packers, Bills, Sunday night football. This might be a nail in the not a nail in the coffin, but yeah, something's got to give for the Packers. Who knows? Bills are favored by 11. David.
A nail in the dimethyltryptamine chemical, the active component in ayahuasca. For those who don't know, most of you knew that though. I think I like the Packers. This is stupid. Give me the Packers. I don't know. I talked to Dan earlier. He likes the Packers. Bills are going to win, but Rodgers with a late touchdown. It's like a 10-point loss, not 11.
Kyle.
Kind of the same thing as Brady. He's like fighting for his last shred of respect. Like if they, I would love to see the Bills win by 40, but I think the Packers will cover. I think Rodgers will find a way to cover.
Packers. Give me the Bills. Nighttime games. The Bills have just been. There's nothing about them right now that doesn't say that they're a sound team up and down the roster. The Packers don't have shit figured out at the wide receiver position. They're going to keep running the ball. They're definitely not going to cover 11, in my opinion. Dylan.
Bills.
Okay, let's bring it home. Big boy stacks. Who wants to go first? Dylan, you may have to add yours yourself if it is elaborate. Gosh, somebody's in the office with Brett too much. He's going with Ole Miss.
Ooh.
They're playing A&M now.
Oh.
That makes a lot more sense, yeah.
Ole Miss.
Baby.
Man, if they somehow botch this game, I can't wait to just roast Brett. He's going to cancel his spooky bash.
Isn't it? It's a nighttime game. Yeah. 6:30 kick. So yeah, at A&M as well. Ole Miss favored by 1.5 on the road at A&M. Dylan has taken Ole Miss. Let's see, Kyle or David.
I've give me Oregon laying 17 against Cal. I think Oregon is doing that thing where they're the Pac-12 team that gets boat raced early in the season, and then it'll be December, and we'll be like, "Wow, they're great." And like Utah does that sometimes, where they just kill everyone in the Pac-12, and we're like, "Wow, what a great season!" Well, we're not going to put them in the playoff. So yeah, they beat UCLA by 15 last week. I think that they'll beat Cal by more than 17.
I'm gonna step out on a ledge. The Eagles are hosting the Steelers. Eagles are favored by 10.5 at home. Watched Steelers closely last week. I liked what I saw. I don't think they're going to win much this year, and I think the Eagles are great. I don't think they beat the Steelers by 10.5. I don't think it's a week where they get embarrassed. Give me the Steelers plus 10.5.
Pandering.
All I got.
Man, let me just say this. I'll start with my big boy stack. Kyle, you silly bitch. Did you not hear week 1, season 1 of this, where I said Bo Nix would not be the starting quarterback at Oregon any longer? And I said that they would lose like 8 games probably. How did you miss that? God, what a take.
I was right up there with you. I believed the same thing, and then Bo Nix proved us wrong.
He did, and good for him. Shout out to him for doing that. Shout out to his family. That being said, I am going to go to Utah, but not to the Utes.
Not
Jaquindon. Not Jaquindon. Not this week, at least. Although Duncanville does have a big game against DeSoto, KJ, tomorrow night.
Or is this end of regular season?
This is big for seeding for the playoffs. It's like the last game of the regular season.
Shouts to
That's right. I'm going to ride with BYU.
Out of the way. Sorry.
I'm sorry. We're both sorry. I'm going to ride with BYU, laying 3 at home over East Carolina. East Carolina's coming in feeling themselves. This is what Dan told me exactly. BYU, big bounce back game at home. I like it.
Multiple time zones for East Carolina in that one.
Yeah,
that's a guy who knows what he's talking about.
That is a trek for ECU for sure. I would also like to point out just a little free pay attention to the lines in the Big Ten this week are really dumb. We talked about Ohio State, Penn State. That's a big line for 2 teams that know each other, whatever that means. But the Michigan State line is Michigan by 23. I don't know. Not my big boy stack, but someone out there.
Northwestern getting 11 points against Iowa, one of the worst offenses just ever put into play.
Yeah, I think that's inflated because people really believed Iowa would slow down Ohio State, and that looked good for about 2.5 quarters. All right. Any last thoughts, words, opinions, or otherwise?
Thank you, Kyle.
Big. God.
Yeah, thank you for having me, guys.
Where can we find your work?
My work, Big Screen Sports, covers movies every Monday, wherever you get your podcasts. Some past episodes featuring all 3 of these fine gentlemen back in the queue. From Phenom to the Farm is an interview series presented by Baseball America that comes out every other Tuesday. On this Tuesday, we have an interview with Ron Shelton, who's the director of Bull Durham, Tin Cup, White Man Can't Jump. Maybe you've heard of those movies. He also played minor league baseball. So little baseball talk, little movies should be good. And then I'm on Twitter at Kyle Bandujo.
Very cool.
I just had to hit something else before I hit this one.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
I didn't want to feel like it was insulting Kyle. I just was excited to press the button again. All right, let's get the heck out of here. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us. Bye-bye.
Guys.
Chips with the dip. That's all I know. I don't